Let's talk about architectural presentation and how we can organize it. First, I want to look at the meaning of the presentation or presenting something. It means the dictionary meaning is to offer, to view, to show, to bring to one's attention. And instead of architectural presentation, I myself prefer the word expression because it's the basic thing that we do during our presentation. We are expressing things. So it's the act or a process or the instance of representing in a medium. And this can take in different forms. This medium can be in different forms, such as words or other things. And this is what we are doing, what we will be doing. We will be expressing something. We are going to give or convey a true impression of something. This is what we are going to do. We are going to reflect or represent by a sign or a symbol. We are going to symbolize something. So we can say that during our architectural presentations, we will be indeed giving a true impression of something by representing it using symbols or signs. This something and symbols and signs, they are important, and they need to be correct. These signs or symbols should be correct things. So we can ask ourselves, what is my purpose? Why do I do architectural presentation? We can say that I need to present my design decisions, something, to get useful feedbacks to improve them. If I want to improve my design decisions, if I want to get some other people's opinions or to express myself to the future user of this design, then I need to do this presentation. And if I want to get useful feedbacks, I need to express my decisions in a correct way. Let's say that this is you with your thoughts, and you go in front of a crowd, some people. This can be the jurors, this can be your friends, your classmates, or other people, and you start expressing yourself. And if you do it correctly, that's fine. But if you do it in the wrong way, then people will not be able to understand what your thoughts were. So this symbol thing is very important for us if we want to make ourselves clear and get useful feedbacks. This is what we need to be careful about. Let's say that I did the presentation in a very complex, complicated way. I didn't follow a certain order. I didn't follow or use a system, and I wasn't careful about the timing. So people will get bored or they will be confused. They cannot be able to follow up. This is what I need to do. I need to plan the whole representation, do it in a right way, use correct symbols so that people will understand what I am talking about. And for the architectural representation or presentation, this is the thing. I have designed a building or spaces, living spaces, and I will be giving my thoughts or showing or telling my thoughts about these spaces to the other people. The best way will be to show the actual design itself. However, this is not possible So we will be using its representations, some symbols of this actual thing in visual, verbal, or physical expressions in these forms, or in any other form. So people will be seeing, they will be hearing, or they can be touching the things that we provide for them, these symbols. What they are going to see can be the pictorial expression of our design, or we can express our thoughts, our design decisions in a written way, in text formats, or create a small booklet and give it to these people so that they can read it, or we can talk about that. We can tell them about our decisions, how we decided to design that building or living spaces, or we can provide some physical representations, which we call models. So this is what we are going to do. We need to figure out what kind of expressions we can use in order to do a right presentation. Let's check some of them. The most common ones. However, please do not forget that these are not the only things. I am just giving a general list here. We can have sketches, 2D drawings, 3D drawings, diagrams, or other types of pictorial expressions. These are the most common ones. As you all know, sketches, this can be either hand-drawn sketches or digital sketches. We can have plan sections or elevations, or any type of perspective projection that can be drawn by hand or with a software, a render. The diagrams are, in my opinion, a very nice way of expressing thoughts or the process or the ideas behind our decisions. Or we can just write a text on a piece of paper or on certain pieces of paper and explain our design in this written format. This is what we see in novels, right? The authors of those novels, they describe the environment, the physical environment in this written format. So this is something that we can use as well. And for the physical representation, we can make realistic models or abstract models. When we say realistic models, we are just creating a small scale of this building that we want to design. However, the abstract model can be used to represent something else, maybe the ideas, the thoughts behind this creation, or we can mix match, use something both realistic and abstract. Now we need to talk about how we can design the presentation using all these types of different expressions. First, if I want to express my thoughts correctly, I should design the presentation. This means that I must make certain decisions about the presentation. I need to decide what am I going to present, how am I going to present, what am I going to present. The most important thing is my design decisions. I decided the form, the size, location, direction of building or building groups. I decided their colors, the outdoor surfaces, colors, the facades, the vertical surfaces or the horizontal surfaces. That can be the ground level of open areas or elevated horizontal surfaces. They will have certain colors. They may have a texture. Some parts of these surfaces can be transparent or other aspects. These are the things that I have decided. I decided about the positions of all indoor or outdoor closed, semi-open or open spaces. And the indoor surfaces, again, like the outdoor surfaces, each one of the indoor surfaces, they have certain colors, they may have textures. I can talk about transparency and the circulation, their connections of these spaces in horizontal and vertical directions. These are the things that I have decided when I do the architectural design. I created living spaces for people. However, this was a certain step of an ongoing process, right? This step here, that was the design step. However, I have passed two previous steps, and I have been working for 6 weeks. I followed this certain process, and I will keep going in future. So in my opinion, just presenting this step cannot be enough, will not be enough. I should present the one previous step, that is the pre-design. In the pre-design decisions, I interpreted certain things to come up with what kind of activities the users will be doing in the spaces, living spaces that I will design. Their requirements, what will be their requirements? I created a list of closed, semi-closed, and open spaces before I started my design decisions. The things that here, they were based over the decisions in the pre-design step. I decided the necessary properties that for these spaces, for each space, maybe I came up with an idea so that I use that idea in order to, as a guidance. I use that idea as a guidance, as a base for all my future decisions. And I decided how I can approach the design area, how different spaces, either closed or open, how they can be located. I created different alternatives for that, and I maybe created alternatives for the locations of all spaces here in this list. And all these pre-design decisions were based over my analysis. I analyzed the design area and its environment. I looked for its current and past situations, both in physical and social context. Also, I analyzed my user or users here. So it will be very wise for me to present all the steps of this process, so people will understand my final step for now in a better way. To see the whole process will be easier for them to understand. However, I will have a limited time and I will have a certain medium to express my thoughts. So I should consider the timing and way of expression. Let's say that I will have just 10 minutes in total to present all these steps. So before the presentation, I should decide about how long I should spare for each step. In my opinion, I should give the most important step, the biggest part of this total time, and the rest can be in shorter periods. Let's say that for the analysis, I spared 2 minutes, and in the next 3 minutes, I will be talking about pre-design decisions, and the 5 minutes, the half of the total presentation time will be for the most important thing, the most important step of my process. And after that, I should decide the way of expression. How am I going to express all the things that I did in these steps? I should decide what to present in each step and how I can present them using verbal, visual, and physical expressions. As you remember, we talked about pictorial expression, the texts, verbal narration, and physical representation. This is me. I should use pictures, texts, and models to support my narration. In my opinion, if I have an oral presentation opportunity, then this should be the basic thing. I should explain, I should talk about my thoughts and use the other things such as pictorial expression or written expression to support what I am saying. Generally, we combine these or posters. These posters can be a physical or a digital poster, or we can use different types of methods such as animations, videos, or other things. Also, it will be very nice to support everything with actual models, the physical models, if I have the opportunity. However, sometimes I cannot have this thing, this opportunity, and I should avoid repeating things. I shouldn't tell people what they can already see here or here. I should use my words to express things that people cannot easily understand in these pictorial or written expressions, or in this physical representation. This is something that I should avoid. I see that some students do this during their presentations. They start telling the jurors, here, on my poster, you can see the ground floor, and here there are 3 different perspectives, and here there is this basement floor, the first floor. This is something that we can see. We can read it, we can see the images, the drawings, and we can easily understand that this is a ground floor plan, and this is a first floor plan, and these are renders and elevations. So you don't need to lose valuable time by telling people what they can already see. You should use your words to support you should use the pictures and written expressions to support your words and your models as well. However, you cannot do an oral presentation or provide models sometimes, especially when you apply for a architectural competition. They just mostly they just need they just want you to provide posters for the competition because of the anonymity. In the architectural competitions, the jurors cannot know who the designer is. The posters should be anonymous, so you cannot have an oral presentation. So you need to do everything here over posters. Now let's check how we can arrange things in the presentation. First, we need to decide what we are going to talk about in the first step of our presentation. Obviously, we will be talking about environmental analysis of our design area and its near surrounding, and we will give the scenario. We will talk about the properties of our user and or user groups in 2 minutes. First, I need to make a list of things, which properties that I'm going to talk about. Since the beginning of the semester, you collected lots of data about Balat, and you create long scenarios, and you make research about the function and everything. But it doesn't mean that you need to give every single item to the jurors during your presentation. You need to select certain things. The things that are directly related to your design. Of course, you read about the history of Balat, you visited certain places, you talked to people to understand the idea, the essence of the place, but you don't have to give everything on your list. You need to decide what you are going to talk about in these 2 minutes and what kind of data you can show on your poster or on your model, so that you will be supported with these images and physical representation methods. Here is the general area of our design area. However, please get rid of that red line or black line that limits the area. This is something drawn by the coordinator to indicate the limits of our working area for you. You don't need to keep this line anymore. Your analysis was not limited to this area here. You search the whole Balat, the whole area. And again, you don't need to give every single of your single one of your analyses. You can first indicate your plot area, and here this is a nice way of indicating that area. So because people can easily understand, this is the church, the Bulgarian church that everyone knows its location, so they can understand the position of your plot area, and you should indicate the north. And please do not forget that when you use a map like this, the upper part of the map shows the north direction, and you shouldn't change the direction in your forthcoming slides or images or drawings. If this is the north direction, then it should always be the north direction. However, sometimes you can rotate the position of your drawing so that the north may be inclined like this or like this. It doesn't matter. It should always point the upper part of your drawing, and if this is the north direction, then it has to be the same direction in your future drawings and other representations. And in my opinion, showing all the analyses over just one 2D expression or an aerial view is a better idea to express everything, because we need to see them overlapping to understand how all these environmental properties affect your plot area. And if you want, instead of using this 2D expression method, you can combine every analysis that you collected over a 3D representation of this area, so that it will be better for us to understand the situation. Let's say that this is your plot area, and we can see everything that affects this area, the wind, the sun. And please do not forget, when you are talking about the sun, you need to give the analysis of sun rays throughout the year, not just one time. It changes throughout the year. This is the summer position, this is the winter position, and you need to add the March and September positions as well. And this is same with the wind. Throughout the year, you may get different directions of wind, prevailing wind. Also, all these natural environment properties should be overlapping with the built environment properties, like the other buildings, the transportation network and other stuff, with the social environment properties, so that we will understand what is going on there. You can create a SketchUp model like this or an actual model like this with the position of your plot area, and you can give every one of your analyses over this image. And please do not forget, the north shouldn't change. The north should be pointing the same direction. And at the beginning of your presentation, maybe it will be after giving this general area, you can just zoom in a little bit, and with the same direction again, and you can give the actual images of this plot area. Like when I stand here and look at this direction, this is the actual building that is there right now, the building that I want to demolish, so that we can understand if it's a right choice or not, if it's a wrong choice, if it's something that we need to preserve, or we can demolish it. And just one image shouldn't be enough. In my opinion, you can give a different point of view in the same poster, so that we can relate them. If I stand here and look at this direction, I will be seeing this, and if I change my position and look from this point, I will be seeing that. And maybe in these photos, you can indicate the general character of the street with the neighbor buildings. And you can give the municipality info, like the square meter of this area, the master plan decisions, and other important stuff here, so that we can understand the existing situation. And it will be very useful for you to give the street view. Imagine that you take a section. Here, you do a section throughout the street, and you look towards this direction, and this is what you will be seeing in either using actual photos, a collage, or a drawing. And for the scenario and users, instead of giving lots of texts and paragraphs, you can create images like this, diagrams like this, and it will be easier for us to understand the properties of your user and the scenario. And in the next part, in 3 minutes, you can talk about pre-design decisions. They are the interpretations of these data here, all the data that you have collected. First, by looking at the properties of your user or user groups, you thought about their activities that they will be doing in this building or building groups that you will be designing, and how you created the list of spaces or your concept or their locations, things like that. So again, please do a list first and indicate or determine the things that you will be saying during your presentation, and which things that you can express over your posters, and what kind of models you can provide to express yourself in a better way. So here, you can start by the properties of your user or user groups, and you can tell us how you created the list of user activities, the activities that these people will be doing in your places, living spaces, in these living spaces that you will design. So you can give the list. Here, let's say that one of the activities is reading. So you can explain us what kind of reading these users will be doing according to their psychological or sociological properties, and what kind of environmental properties they will need, like the lighting or the air requirements or the noise requirements, things like that. So over this list, you can give us all the requirements, the needs the users will be needing doing these activities. And by combining different activities, you can create the list of closed, semi-closed, and open spaces that you are going to design. Let's say that these two activities can take place in space A. However, this activity should be located in space C. So this is your list. And you can talk about the relations of these spaces. And after that, you can give us your ideas, your decisions about how the pedestrians, like the owner of the building or different user groups on foot, they can approach to this plot area. They can come to this area using this road or that road, and how you decided that by looking which analyzes, which data you collected during your analyze step, you decided this. And after that, you can talk about the possible positions of your closed and open areas on this plot area, if you prefer these for the closed areas and the rest for the open area, or if you want to go in another way. And how did you decide that? Which information you used to make up this decision? And how the entrances of these closed areas can be. Where can people enter the building? Where can garbage can leave the building? All these decisions and how you decided, which analyzes, which data you use to decide that. Now you can talk about the positions of the spaces that you listed before. I wanted the space A to be located here, and space B should be here because of these things, and I can combine them with this corridor or door or something. However, I want my space C to be located up here, and I need to create a vertical circulation like a stair or an elevator or something, and I want my space D to be located over space B, things like that. And you should explain us how you make these decisions, which environmental factors or user requirements you considered when you decide the possible positions of these spaces. And in the last 5 minutes, you can talk about your design decisions, the mass, form, size, location, surface properties, and circulation decisions for your spaces. And you need to, again, determine what you are going to talk about, which images you will be showing, and if you are going to support your presentation with a model or not. It is a nice way of doing this presentation over a series of images like this. Based on your previous decisions, now you can show us your decisions about the mass, the form, the colors, the texture, the transparency of your creation, your building, or open spaces. And you can tell us how you decided that. And you can show us certain images, like just imagine yourself, you are standing here and you are looking at this direction. What we are going to see, what kind of compositions you created. Are we going to walk towards the building over this roadway, or what am I going to see if I stand there? And how you created that image, which steps you took, what kind of alternatives you created. You can give us a simple storyboard like that, or you can use different techniques. And also, it's not just about the outdoor surfaces, outdoor environment. Also, you need to go inside the building and show us your indoor spaces as well. What kind of indoor spaces you created? What will be the colors, the texture, the transparency of indoor surfaces? This is something very nice done by one of my previous students, Atılgan İnci. He created this stop motion video to express us how people will be using these indoor spaces that he created. And this is something he did by using his model. Or we can use these kind of images, to indicate, to express the colors, the surface properties, other surface properties of all indoor spaces. And also, there can be some outdoor spaces in your plot area that you design. So this is what you can do to indicate us, to express us those creations. Now I want to talk about some principles. First of all, please express everything in its context. Do not give any visual or physical model without its context. And when I say context, the near surrounding, the streets, the neighbor buildings, and all the other important data. It doesn't matter if it's a 3D expression or a 2D expression. Always give your thoughts in its context. This is a very nice way of doing the expression. Again, a kind of a storyboard, we can say. First start with the actual existing environment, and then maybe step by step, you can talk about how you come up with this design. And again, it will be very nice for us to understand everything, to see everything in just one image, like all the open spaces, all the indoor surfaces, the indoor spaces, the facade properties, the circulation maybe, or other things in this just one image. This is not good. Just expressing something separated from its context, it doesn't give any information. It's very hard for us to understand and give useful feedbacks. This is what we need to see, not this here, this, so that we can understand or we can evaluate your design decisions according to its context. And everything you provide should be given in its context. The renders, street view perspectives, or 2D images, it doesn't matter. And these 3D expressions should always be supported with 2D expressions, like the plan and section of your design. And when we say plan, you should remember that we are talking about an horizontal section like this. You cut your building in half by using an horizontal plane at a certain level. And you elevate the upper part and you look down and you draw what you see. And again, please give the near surrounding, the context, and be careful about your line weights and other expression principles. These are important. And when we say plan, again, we are talking about an horizontal section, and this can be done using different levels like this. If you want to do a correct expression, then you can give different sections, horizontal sections throughout different levels so that we can understand the whole idea here. And also, if you can locate, if you can express people in your plans and sections and elevations, it will be very nice for us to understand what kind of living spaces you created, how your users will be living in these spaces you created. What are they going to do? Which activities they are going to do in which spaces? And you can use your previous list here so that we will be understanding the space properties in a better way. And this can, you can indicate these living conditions throughout the day or year, how they are going to use this space in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, and at night. Also, we can use vertical sections like this here to understand what's going on inside. It's this section line here. So we will be looking an image like this. Again, please be careful about the line weights. You should give all the necessary information like these levels and the names of the spaces. And you should indicate, effectuate the cuts surfaces. This is a very nice way of understanding all those spaces in a better way. Like the horizontal section, the vertical section may be in different places, especially all the important things, all the important spaces that you want us to see. Or you can create images like this in a 3D format. So we will be understanding the properties of the spaces in a better way. Elevations are actually, again, sections, vertical sections that are positioned outside of the building. You cut through this earth and garden walls here, and you look at this direction. This is your section line now, so that you will be seeing the facade of the building. Again, in its context, it's very important for us. Like the plan, you should give your plans in its near surrounding, and please do not change the direction of the north if it is like this or like this in your previous images. Then it should be again the same from now on with every plan. And again, the sections, the elevations should be in its context. Just giving the section separated from its context will not do any good. We should see what's going on in here. And maybe you can create diagrams like this, so it will be easier for us to understand the position of this section or elevation like that. And here I want to tell you that the quality of your drawings, your texts, your models, it's very important. It's not just important for the attraction. It's very close. This quality matter is very close to the issues of dressing. I'm not talking about wearing very expensive clothes, or something to be tidy, to be presentable, not like that. And it's not just about attraction or attention. If the quality is good, then you can be sure that people will be understanding what you are trying to say, like the line weights or the quality of your drawing. If it's like this, then people will understand the spaces you created. Or however, if you give a plan like that, and they are the same, by the way, just the line weights changed, then they cannot be understand what the spaces you design. You will be misleading people. You will be giving wrong information. As we talked before, most of the time, we are combining our pictures, our drawings, our visual aids with our texts over posters. Let's look how we can design them. First of all, we need to consider the type, if it's a physical or a digital presentation, and it changes a lot. Let's say that it's a physical presentation, then you will use certain papers for your, or a certain surface for your presentation. Or if it's a digital presentation, then maybe your screen, the screen of your computer is your poster area. And the size is important. For physical posters, these are the most common sizes that we prefer. Mostly A1 is used. You can decide it yourself, or if you are attending a competition or a school project, maybe this size is given to you. So you need to be careful about that rule. However, if you are doing a digital presentation, then if you are using a PowerPoint to prepare your presentation, then this will be the size of your screen will be your poster area. After that, you should think about the total content, what you are going to give in these steps. And you need to consider the number of posters. Let's say that you are going to use 4 posters. So you can decide about the page content. Like this poster will hold the analyzers, and then this one will be for predesign, and these 2 will be for the design here. And let's say that this poster here for the pre-design. Again, you need to consider about the page content. What kind of expressions does this page, this poster will hold? Again, it's a better way to make a list first. In this poster, I will be giving activities, space list, concept, space locations, or is it a good order, or should I change the order? Maybe this order will be better. I can start with the most important thing, or I can follow a certain process here, what I should do. And after that, after creating this list in an order, I can start locating certain things over this poster area by deciding how am I going to express each item on this list. Let's say that I decided that I can use a sketch to indicate my concept, and I decided to locate it here, over here, and I will provide some texts. After that, for space locations, I'm going to use a photo. After this photo, I will be using some text, some more texts. For activities, I will use 3 diagrams, things like that. And please indicate, please determine how you are going to use these images during your verbal oral presentation. First, I'm going to talk about the sketch, and then I will move here to the space list. And by using these diagrams and photos, I will be talking about the space location. This will help you a lot when you are designing your poster. Of course, the design of the poster, the positions of the all these images, the colors, the texts, they're important. But please do not forget, your first aim is your major goal here is to give information about your design process. If people cannot understand what's going on over this poster, then it won't be good. And again, here we see a digital poster. Here, this is my total area. The screen of my computer is my total area. And let's say that I want to talk about that. Instead of giving it in a very small area like this here, I can get rid of these unused spaces and enlarge this image so that it will fit in my computer's screen. And instead of trying to see what's going on here, people, the viewers, can understand everything in a better way. Also, when I'm designing the poster, I need to decide about colors and texts. Of course, there are no certain rules, but we can talk about some principles. As you all know, we don't like the colors you see in the rainbow as architects. Instead of those primary colors, we always prefer secondary colors. And for the texts, again, the legibility is very important. Here's a very nice video about the colors. Let's watch it together. It doesn't matter if you are creating your poster with your hand or you are using a software, you need to decide about colors, the colors of everything that poster holds, either your drawings, either your diagrams or your texts. And for the texts, this is important. Legibility is very important. You need to choose a right font so that people can be able to read what you wrote. Here is another video to remind us the principles of design, the general principles of design that we can use during the design of our posters. It'll be nice to design a poster that is balanced. we are going to do this balance by using alignment. We are going to arrange the images, the texts, the diagrams, the drawings, the photos, and everything, every visual aid over our poster so that they can be aligned in an order, in a rational order. But of course, if I want to, I can emphasize certain things, the most important things on that poster. And during this arrangement, the proportions are again important. If I want to, I can use these things to create an effect. I can use movement or a pattern or symmetry, asymmetry, contrast. Let's check these principles over some examples. First of all, if you want to start with the environmental analysis, we can create images like this by using our maps or aerial views. Here we see the designer selected colors according to maybe the importance of the things that they want to emphasize. Like we see generally they preferred gray tones. However, the things that are most important for them, like I'm guessing that these are the transportation network, they use reddish colors or green colors or darker shades of gray to indicate them. And here is a nice way of arranging things. When we look this poster here, this is something that attracts our vision in most with its color and its position and its size. This is something that the designer wants us to see first. And after that, I can divert my attention over here. There's this figure ground study. And in detail, he gave three diagrams. And in this column, he gave us long texts and some images. If I want to read them or look at them, I can, but maybe this can be enough for me. And it doesn't mean that we have to arrange everything in a vertical or horizontal way. We can create different schemes like this one here. This is, in my opinion, a very nice design. Or we can divide the poster into two and give certain things over here and an image over in here. And we see the same principle in each one of these examples, just a general gray tone and using a reddish or a green or a blue shade to emphasize certain things. And we can create images like this to express the properties of our user or their activities or their requirements like that. There are different ways of creating very informative and nice aesthetical images And we don't have to use just images. We can use models or photos of our models to create the posters as well. These are very, in my opinion, very nice examples that we can use for our pre-design and analysis step. And for our design step, we can again use our drawings, 2D or 3D images to indicate all the design decisions, to express them to other people. And this is a very nice way of relating them to each other. We can start from here, give certain information in here, and relate them like this. Again, the same principle. A nice shade of green is used to indicate important things, and we see a unity over the poster. They use the same shades in their drawings, in sections, and or in their 3D presentations. We can support different things with in 3D format and in 2D format, and we can use same graphical representation methods that we prefer for our analyzers, for user analyzers. Again, we can repeat them to indicate how people will be using these spaces here. But please do not do these things. These are some random examples that I found online. I don't know the person here. However, in my opinion, this is of course very controversial. But in my opinion, this is not a good way of designing a poster. Just giving three plants that are very similar to each other, and then giving some 3D images over this corner. They are not balanced. There isn't a nice order. We cannot talk about hierarchy, and maybe this part here, it's neglected so much that I cannot even see here. Or this one here, again, just placing certain images one by one. It doesn't mean that it's a good design. The colors are not nice, the balance is not good. It's very hard to understand or follow the process here. Again, long texts are not a good idea in my opinion. If it's a competition, then you may have to give these long texts because you are asked to, but for oral presentations, it's not a good idea because your jurors will not have time to read all these paragraphs here. And again, there can be some other types of principles that we can consider together. I told you that generally we don't use primary colors. However, if you can use them in a nice way, then it will be okay. Like these poster designs, these are different alternatives for a poster, an announcement, and we see that the colors are very good. They look very good, and we can say that there is a unity between these alternatives. The same person created these things. They have a style. Again, a very nice way of using colors like this. It's balanced and it's very good. And if you can do that, this is a very nice way of doing it. You just use this red color. It's very risky, but if you can get this result, then it will be good. And if you want, you can use any type of color here. These are very nice examples. Or you can prefer a white and black poster as well. You don't need to use any colors like that, or you don't need to do drawings at all. Here are some very nice examples. Be careful about your background. If you use a background, it may block the drawings and the texts, and it will be very hard for us to see what you are trying to show. And this is a very nice way of doing background, in my opinion. Just creating a blurred area so that the lines, the lines will not block the texts. The text will be readable. Here we see that it's a nice balance between the amount of visual aids, the texts, and diagrams. In my opinion, this is a good example. Instead of using long texts, this should be visually, the visuals should be more. And instead of long texts here, you can use certain slogans or certain words to support your visuals. Again, a very nice way of presenting ideas. Look, you can easily understand here the 12 visual hierarchy principles, size and scale. It's important. Color and contrast. Here is there are the same image. However, because of the color preference, it's very hard to recognize this one here. Typography and hierarchy, again, indicating or emphasizing certain things so that they will get our attention. Or if you want, you don't need to use texts at all. You can use just visuals. It can be hand drawn or digital drawn, or vice versa. If you can do it, you can create your posters with only texts, just using texts. This is another good example, in my opinion, to create a poster. Or again, you can use diagrams. And if you have a concept that is the idea, a general idea, then you can use this idea to create your posters as well. Like this one here. This here is the poster of one of my former students. She created this poster using this idea here, and you can say that she used that idea, but she didn't copy it. And here are some good examples, in my opinion. We use this very clever thinking method in signage design mostly. If you want to create a poster about carbon footprint, then you can arrange your visuals and texts like this. And here is another example of our former student, one of our former students. He created a poster here to express the design of Mario Botta, and you can easily recognize why he preferred this, because this is his style, the style of Mario Botta that we see in his many designs. It's very nice. Also, I want to show you these series of images that jazz festival of Akbank. Here is the idea behind these creations is about Istanbul and the city, and relating it with jazz. So in Istanbul, we drink lots of tea, and they created a cup of a teacup, and instead of a spoon, they used a note. Or when you say Istanbul, many people will think about ships in Bosphorus. So they created this image. Or again, seagulls. They can be the symbol of this city. So they used an image like that. And you can say that every one of these posters are designed by a certain person because you can recognize the style. There's a style. Here is another example that I like very much. There's the student group in our university, and the group, the name of the group is Mimarlık Onun Neresinde, and their logo was designed by İlkay Kaya. And you can see that this is a question mark that holds a phoenix inside it. And this is some other image they created. And it's very nice, in my opinion, because it's very related with this question. All the things that has been hidden in the city. And they use this idea to create some of the posters of their events, some activities like at the beginning they programmed an activity to watch urbanized movie. So they created a poster. It's very nice in my opinion. It's like opening a window to this movie through their eye. And you can see the same idea in their different creations. This was a workshop about a space. So they organized everything here is related, and this was another event they organized, and the city was the subject here. So they created a poster like this, and this is a photo of the poster. They used the wall, the actual wall, to create the poster, not a photoshopped image. And here, again, at the beginning of the holidays, they wanted to say goodbye. So they created an image like this to share in their Instagram. So if we have an idea, we can choose our fonts, our colors, our style of images accordingly. There are different alternatives that you can choose or create yourself, like this one here. If you will be presenting something about Art Nouveau, that's a style in the beginning of this century, then you can prefer lettering like this. We talked about the quality. Now we should talk about the association. The things that you choose should be based on a logical idea, a meaningful idea. You don't want just something to be different or interesting. It should be related. People should understand why you choose that. How all these creations are related to something that is meaningful. And please be careful about the amount of things that you will provide, either in a visual form or physical form or verbal form. Here is an idea that I like very much, told by painter Hans Hofmann. He says, the ability to simplify means to eliminate the unnecessary so that the necessary may speak. If I just show you an image like this, you can understand what I am talking about. This is a very nice way of emphasizing certain important things so that they won't be lost in this crowd. This is a very nice way of indicating a family, father, mother, and 3 siblings, maybe. And you can use different techniques as well, like creating GIFs. If you have a digital presentation opportunity, either online or in an actual space, then you can create images like this, GIFs like this that will tell the viewers very important, very good things. And this is a very clever way of doing it. doing a poster as well. I like the idea very much. Or you can create something like this. Another good way of doing this presentation by creating a video. Here you see the year and how they fight the wars between different countries. And it goes like that. It's a very clever way of expressing this thought. And we can do architectural things like that. If you want, you can create something like this to talk about your design process chronologically. And it doesn't matter if you do not know software how to create this. You can do this with your hand. Or you can focus on the idea. And here is a very nice video that has been created by one of our former students, Deniz Tuzcuoğlu. And you will notice that she is using just only a long sketch paper and some pens and a model at the end. However, you will understand her design process, all of her ideas in a very short time period. So she is designing a hotel complex in Galata. First, she starts with environmental analysis, but she is not giving everything that she collected. Here, just the important things, just the analysis, just the data that relates directly to her design decisions. She chose a plot that holds an existing car park area, and she's explaining why she preferred that place for her design area. The reasons behind her choices, and she's giving the views, the neighboring buildings, municipality info, and she's not just giving these information, she's interpreting it. She's relating different things. She's saying that I chose this area, I want to demolish this car parking building because there is a very nice view and this thing and that thing, and it blocks it and things like that. She's giving the reasons. Very nice environmental analysis. She's indicating all the car parking areas around. She's using a diagrammatic section to support her decision, to tell us the reasons behind her decision. She says that I'm going to demolish this because, and I will provide more green areas, cheaper accommodation for everyone, for every type of people instead. Now we will see her plot area. However, this is not good because the context, we cannot see the context, although she is going to show us some other environmental properties. So she's giving possible positions for her spaces, or spaces in her list. And she's now giving some of her principles that she used during her design. And now we see the model. She is using her actual model to indicate her design decisions. Things like how she positioned the rooms and other spaces and why she did that. And this is a very nice example of a presentation in a very short time frame. It's like 3 minutes or 3.5 minutes in total, and we get everything we need. Okay, I hope all these explanations and examples will be useful for you to design not only your posters, but your whole presentation.